Hey everybody, it's October 1985, and it's going to be a short one. I only read 3 things in October of 1985, I would assume, because it's the month of Halloween, and I was probably busy doing a lot of crazy Halloween stuff. Actually, I was attending Lorraine County Community College. I was in a couple of groups at the college. I do know, at the very least, I worked on a haunted walk kind of thing that the college put on, so that took up some time. I actually had a pretty active social life back then, although there have been some other months where I read a lot, so I'm not sure if that had anything to do with why I only read 3 things this month or not. I'm trying to make up excuses. Only 3 things, and no giant ones that carried over into November, so... And they weren't even like big things. It's 2 media tie-ins and a novelization. So anyway, the first book that I read in October of 1985 was Miami Vice, The Florida Burn by Stephen Grave. And it's just a Miami Vice novel, media tie-in novel. When I looked at this list, I had absolutely no idea what this book was. I assumed it was some sort of mystery, but for some reason when I started the list, I didn't put like Miami Vice, The Florida Burn. It just says The Florida Burn. So I had no idea. I had to look it up on Amazon, and yeah, it's a Miami Vice novel. It was a big show back then. I was into it. I liked the show. I even dressed like a character on the show when I was down in Florida for spring break. I had the whole get-up. Anyway, so it's a Miami Vice novel. I remember nothing about it. The second book in October is a novelization. It's The Terminator by Randall Frakes and Bill Wisher. And it is what it is. It's a novelization of the movie. I absolutely love the original Terminator movie. I know most people I have ever heard comment on these films seem to think that the second one is the superior film. But the first one is still, always will be my favorite Terminator movie. I see the first 2 Terminators same way I see the first 2 Alien movies. The first one is a horror movie. The second one is an action movie. And yes, they both are sci-fi movies, but really, Alien and Terminator are horror movies. Aliens and Terminator 2, or T2, are definitely action movies. And that's why, well, we won't get into the whole Alien versus Aliens thing, but Terminator, love the movie. I rewatch it all the time. I think story-wise, it still stands up. Fashion's not so great. The music, the background music, like things playing, there's a club scene, the music playing there. The score for the film, I think, is still great. The background music, very 80s techno crap. But aside from that, I mean, you could remake this movie with the exact same script. You know, you change the fashion, if you were to update it. You change the fashion, change the whatever was going on in the background, but you could use the exact same script. Because the story itself, pardon me, I have an itchy eyeball. Story itself still holds up. I assume that the novelization was just as good as the movie, maybe even had a little extra stuff in it. But that was book number 2. Number 3, the other media tie-in, Miami Vice, The Vengeance Game by Stephen Grave. So The Florida Burn was the first Miami Vice media tie-in novel. For some reason, I missed number 2. Vengeance Game is number 3. And again, I thought these 2 Stephen Grave books were mysteries from the sounds of them. Had no idea they were Miami Vice. Remember absolutely nothing about them. If someone walked up to me and asked if there were ever media tie-in novels for Miami Vice, I wouldn't have had a clue. Which I suppose shows they didn't leave an impression. Or I'm just so old I can't remember that far back. So there you go. I mean, that's it. 3 books in October. Nothing impressive. The Terminator, I'll just rewatch the movie. Miami Vice books, I, at this point, would have no interest in. But that's it. So, what were you doing in October 1985 if you were alive? Are you a big fan of Halloween? Did you go on haunted walks or to haunted houses? Man, I loved doing that stuff back in the day. Or were you reading a lot of books? And they weren't even scary books. It's October. Why was I not reading something scary? Except maybe the Terminator. All right, that's it for this Reading Remembrances video. And until next week, read more books.